Oh shit, we're doing another one of these. Hi. Welcome to Smark City's review of the Raw show that we all watch. I'm Alex Briggs. I'm a guy who watches, and Drew Nicholas is with me. Say hi, bud. I'm the watcher on the wall.
Oh,
You won't get that reference.
that's got to be the funniest thing you've said on this
What?
podcast.
Just
I loved that.
I'm a guy who watches. Well, there you
You know,
go.
it has a double meaning there. But
Okay.
hello, everyone.
Anyway, you want to talk about Raw
Why not?
and not me? Okay, so I guess we want to talk about the main event, that impromptu main event that happened.
Yeah, go ahead and give us what you thought about it. You go first.
Okay, so if for anyone who missed it, the main event that was advertised was Daniel Bryan and Mick Foley talking, and then that turned into Rusev versus Cesaro for the United States Championship. And here's the only problem I have with it. Like, I don't have a problem with any of it except for this. When you make something the main event, you're setting an expectation for the fans of, oh, something big is going to happen. You cannot do that when you're not going to do something big, because what you just did was you teased something amazing and gave us maybe the sixth best match or most important match on the SummerSlam card.
Yeah.
That's not how you're supposed to do that. That's my problem with it. The match was great. I loved Rusev and Cesaro fighting. The only problem I had really was just that Byron Saxton was like, oh my God, he did the Cesaro swing. I was like, dude, Cesaro swung Rusev 2 weeks ago. Like, why wouldn't he be able to do it now? But like, beyond that, the match was great. They had a good chemistry going. They always do. They're just two really good wrestlers, and it makes sense that Sheamus wants some kind of revenge or vindication for being a loser, I guess. But when you do that, when you make that the main event, you're setting the expectation that something cool is going to happen, and nothing cool happened except for maybe Reigns spearing Rusev and that cool camera angle as they closed the show. That was like the only thing. It was just a letdown,
Yeah.
despite the fact that it was good.
It was a decent show. There were a lot of parts that dragged and were kind of slow, and it just, I guess in some case the crowd was just not into it that much, so it kind of takes you out of it a little too. And it was decent. There were parts that were literally unwatchable, like the golden truth nonsense.
Well, I mean, the Gold Truth is good for some like 2-minute fun when they're not doing stupid shit. Tonight was more towards stupid shit than fun. So
This seemed like a Vince McMahon booked show, didn't it?
I don't know, man. I don't feel like. I know a lot of people like to say everything good is Triple H, or everything a certain style is Triple H, and everything a certain style is Vince McMahon. I don't know if that's the case. I think part of it was just it's the week before the go home show. They're just trying to not do anything crazy. They're just trying to have a show.
Well, the reason why I say that is because I did read a tweet from somebody while I was doing the live tweeting that said that Triple H and Stephanie were actually not even in the building.
Really? Well, I guess maybe so. The only thing I just here's my problem is I feel like there are times where they're selling things in a traditional way. They're setting up storylines in a traditional WWE way. The only problem with it is that most of your fans nowadays are my age and your age, and the normal storytelling we're disenchanted with it. So my fear with the Rusev versus Cesaro thing was that they were going to have Cesaro get screwed. Reigns was going to come in and spear Rusev and be like, I saved Cesaro, so cheer me, when everyone would just be like, no, fuck that. We wanted to see Cesaro win the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's my issue. I feel like they book things not understanding that the normal ordinary way of doing it doesn't really work as effectively as it used to. If they could figure that out and not do that, that'd be great. There was only really one storyline that had good storytelling this week, from my perspective. That was Rollins Balor. Everybody else was just kind of You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this show was supposed to be. It was just supposed to be just hold the fort until next week. We'll set it up really big for SummerSlam, and then we'll have a SummerSlam, and then whatever.
And they really set it up big for Balor for sure.
Oh God, they did. Holy shit.
That was one of the most awesome promos I've seen in a while.
Oh man, it was great. They need to do more stuff like that. The best part for me was that for anyone who didn't see, Seth Rollins had a promo earlier where he basically addressed what happened with Finn Balor earlier, not earlier, but last week, and was basically saying that he found Finn Balor to be ignorant and arrogant and disrespectful, and he's shouting his case that he's the man. And then later in the show, Finn Balor's sitting in like this dark, decrepit throne room, just smiling like, "Oh, Seth, you don't understand what's going on here at all, do you?" And the supreme confidence Balor had, contrasted with Rollins just being like, "Give me my attention," was just, ooh, that was good. I liked it. Ben was just smiling away.
Well, we had ourselves a little bit of a Twitter beef over the Seth Rollins promo.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So yes, for anyone who maybe didn't look at the live tweeting of at the Smark City, cheap plug. I'm doing the Mick Foley.
Thanks, Mick Foley.
See, see,
Yeah.
great mind.
Well, that's debatable.
This is the exact type of Seth Rollins that I hate. I hate his voice, and I know that that's a put on for his heel character, but I just it annoys me so much, and it goes way back to his first championship run, like around the end, especially when they were doing that HR segment with Kane. Oh
Yeah.
God, one of them.
Yeah. So what
know,
is it? So what is it that just turns you off to the point where you have to mute the television? Because that's what I don't understand.
I know that he's not saying anything interesting, and what he is saying, I can't listen to.
But that's the problem. Is I think he did say interesting things. That's why I'm confused.
Because it was interesting up until
he sold his side of the story that is being told between him and Balor. He sold that story.
But it was just, it was obvious. It was not different. It was not like, oh wow, this is a captivating promo. This is the first time I've muted him since he came back, and
well,
I was sticking through it week after week ever since he came back, and did his pedigree to Roman, and tonight I was just, it just seemed too forced. I
just think that's unfair.
It seems like he was trying to be an extra bit of healing, and just because I'm just tired of his heel character, and
what specifically is it that you thought he was trying to do extra? I didn't get that impression at all.
He was trying to be a heel more.
Well, he is a heel. He's a smarmy asshole.
No, but it's
what he is.
It's not like a Titus heel. This is a real, between the lines type of a heel, where there's people that care and want him to be a face, and WWE knows that.
Well, I mean, they know that people want to see Balor as a heel. People know they want to see Ziggler as a heel. People know they want to see Ambrose as a heel. It's, I don't understand if that's the way you want to go about it. This is the way I've always viewed it. If I'm invested in a storyline, I'm going to sit through it, even though I may not appreciate one performer over the other or whatever, even if they annoy me a little bit, because I want the context of everything that's being said. That I get off on the story in wrestling more than anything else, so that doesn't bother me as much. When it was like Vicky Guerrero back in the day, where I would just be like, nope, change the channel, I'll be back in 10. That's a different thing. That's where I'm not even invested. But I know you're invested in this Rollins Balor storyline, so that's why I'm confused.
Well, because I can just go to YouTube later and watch it.
I guess it's just what Seth Rollins did tonight was very great character-wise and setting up a contrast to what Finn Balor has been presented as so far. Seth Rollins has basically established himself as, I've been the guy ever since I got here, and this this guy from Japan and from NXT is coming in here and thinks, okay, yeah, he beat a couple of guys, but he thinks that's all it takes to beat me. Like, that's ridiculous. That's absurd that you would think you could beat Seth Rollins, who never lost his title in the first place, who's overcome a really bad injury to get back to where he is. And I get that. I understand that. And he does it from a heel-ish perspective, but like that's perspective is necessary for this story. And to hear that you just muting it, I can't stand his voice or I can't stand whatever, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
You know, I understand what you're saying. You know, I understand your side of it. But I just can't with him. It's you know, just like they've done a terrible job in getting people to really care about Roman, because there's a lot of people that do not care about him still.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I kind of feel like that healing with Seth has done that type of an effect to me. I can't get into his promos anymore.
I don't feel like Seth Rollins is really that fully heel anymore. I think they're having him be just Seth Rollins more than anything, which is just this slightly arrogant guy who knows he's really good and knows he's better than his old Shield mates and all this stuff. And I don't know if that's necessarily even healing anymore. I have guys that I just can't watch as well. Like Jack Swagger is a guy I just can't watch. I don't know why. I just can't watch him. You know, there are guys like that for me. Is it Seth is always like that for you? Is it just the fact that he's when he talks as a heel that bugs you?
It's only been since towards the end of his run before he got injured. You know, it's I was okay with it. You know, when he first won, I was like, oh, holy shit, you know, cashing in at WrestleMania, that's never been done before in the main event of WrestleMania. So, you know, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I liked it. And then right when it got into the J&J security stuff and Kane just, you know, always doing stuff, you know, exactly what he was saying.
But I feel like
well, hold on. Exactly what he was saying in the promo tonight about he was never handed anything. I mean, that's bullshit. And I understand that's his character, you know, being cocky and smarmy and, oh, well, I did, you know, really get handed everything, but I'm not going to give off that appearance.
But that's the problem. Everything. That's the problem. In WWE storytelling, yeah, he's gotten handed a couple things. In his real life, I know there's stuff out there from him wrestling in like some kind of erotic wrestling thing like he did for $1. Like he had to work through the indies and do some crazy shit to get where he's at. He had to work for everything. So it's not just as simple as he got handed whatever. What he's doing is he's framing the truth to say, yeah, I got a free shot in SummerSlam because I'm the guy. That's not getting handed anything. That's me proving over 3 years that I'm the best here. Of course they gave it to me.
Why, though?
Because he's won titles. He never got beat the first time. The fact that he's worked so hard to get here, like I get his perspective. And that's what I'm trying to say is I feel like your problem is that you've connected the WWE him to the full him. Like of who he is as an actual person beyond being Seth Rollins in WWE.
Oh, no, I mean? No. I have absolutely not done that.
It just feels that way to me.
I can separate him from his character, but it seems that WWE doesn't want me to do that.
I guess that's true. I don't understand that, and that's okay because I've never had a guy that's ever put me in that position, and that's fine. I think we ought to really talk about this storyline and where it's going more than just keep rambling on this because I'm not going to understand you. You're probably not going to understand me, and that's fine. So, what did you think of the actual Balor thing, and what are your impressions of them going into SummerSlam?
Well, that's not the first time that I've seen the Demon because I do watch NXT sometimes, especially when he was on. But for somebody that's just being introduced to the Demon, if they've never seen NXT before, I think that did the job.
I don't think that just did the job. I think that was the best they could have possibly done.
Or
That's
that.
great.
Yeah, that
great.
too. It just incredible. I mean, they put together a really, really good promo for him. They put together a great look, that backstage, smoky, dark room. Sitting on, I mean, whatever that was he was sitting on. It was
a
cool.
throne, essentially. It was like an old school throne.
And just
Yeah.
talking about the heritage, the Irish heritage of the name and the mythology behind it. It's just, I think it sold the SummerSlam match 1,000%, and
100-fold.
From what they did there, it kind of feels like that's what they're going to make the main event.
It has to be, right? I mean, I know that like the only other thing that could be at this point is Orton Lesnar, and I think that would be a very disappointing thing to put as the main event. What just struck me by it is in NXT, because I know you haven't watched a whole bunch of it as much as I have. Finn Balor portrayed the Demon as it's him channeling a deeper, darker source, right? And what he said tonight fell directly in line with what he said in NXT. It was just more developed and more refined and more layered, where he's talking about all of the mythology, not just Finn McCool and the Demon King Balor. He's talking about all this stuff, that it's his history and it's his legacy, and that's what he draws upon something greater than himself to become greater than himself. And that's why Seth Rollins is so wrong about everything. You know what I mean? And it just the production value, the music accompaniment, the just the production value of like showing and displaying the legends he was talking about. All of it was just, you felt like you were watching something bigger than normal happening and developing right in front of your very eyes. And the best part for me was just Finn Balor smiling, just being like at ease, totally at ease, just saying it was giving off the feeling of like he is totally at peace with this. Like he is going into it 100% confident he's going to win this. And it feels like that's the only logical outcome, doesn't it? That Finn Balor wins at SummerSlam.
It should be. I mean, there's a whole bunch of fantasy booking we could get into about, him and the club, We'll
talk about that in a minute.
It makes sense that he would win.
It just, the way the story has been so far is that Finn Balor keeps getting overlooked by Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins feels like he's earned this opportunity, and Balor's not giving him the respect he deserves, even when Seth is showing respect in the opposite direction. And now I think Seth is trying to keep from feeling fear of this demon or whatever that Finn Balor is like bringing out. And next week they said that Seth Rollins is going to call out the demon himself, which is just, ooh, that could be fun.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that.
I don't think so either. I think we're going to get some Undertaker like production of the heartbeat and the lights going out, and I don't know, something in the ring happening. I don't know. I think that's what you're going to see. But yeah, you talked about the club for the second week in a row, and for like a couple times they've done this. Finn Balor finishes the segment, and then, oh, look who's next, Anderson and Gallows. They're doing this on purpose, aren't they?
Yeah, they could. It very well could be, or it could just be a coincidence.
I don't think it's coincidence. Not over and over and over. It can't be. Like, I don't know if it leads to anything, but I think they're doing it intentionally.
Well, they very well could be, and we know that they do that stuff, that type of long-term booking where it just comes out of nowhere.
They don't do it often, but when they do it, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So what did you think of the Good Doctors?
Oh, the Good Doctors.
The Good Doctors, yeah.
They deserve a PhD.
They should take Xavier Woods. Woods's. They should totally claim that like they're taking his PhD. They need to do that next week. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
They already did what I said. They came out in the lab coats and walked down to the ring, and I tweeted that like about a minute before they did it, and then retweeted, they did it. They did it. I love them.
Oh
both.
yeah, I was so happy for you.
That was beautiful, and they could just come out like that every week now.
They gave that promo, and there's like 2 eggs in a jar of water or something. It's just like the weakest, stupidest metaphor ever. And Gallows and Anderson sell it by just giving no shits at all. We're just gonna make a bunch of
dick jokes, a bunch of ball jokes.
Yeah, like, oh my god, it was great. Oh, it was so dumb, and they just didn't care. They were like, "Yep, we're just gonna be stupid. Like, we're the club. Fuck you."
Carl Anderson is a legend.
He's so great.
His facial reactions just make me laugh.
Oh my god, I know.
And he's so good at shitheading. He's so good at it. It's like,
Carl
I want to be
the
that
best.
good. I want to be that good.
I wish I was that good. I wish I was that good at life to be what Carl Anderson is. My god, he is just the best. I love him so much. The best thing was like he and Gallows are walking back up the ramp, and Gallows is shouting something at New Day. And Anderson's just like looking out there and just tapping Gallows on the chest or whatever, just going, "It's perfect. It's perfect." It's like, what are you talking about? It's great, man. It's the club is great. They've been fantastic almost every time they've been on television since they joined WWE. That goes for AJ Styles too. Goes for Finn Balor because he's part of it too, even though it's not been on WWE television.
And they won this week,
they won really quickly, which was great.
Yeah. And weird a little bit, but
they're starting to get back to their Bullet Club roots here. For anyone who's not seen Bullet Club, they cheat and don't give a shit, and they'll win off that. One of the big things that they did in Japan, and this is me fantasy, like, this is not what WWE is selling. This is me thinking what they're selling. They did a lot of showboating in Japan, and Corey Graves said last week on commentary, like, you can't get away with that. You're facing the very best of the best of the best in WWE. And as soon as they went to showboat last week, they lost. This week there was no showboating. It was just we're just gonna kick you in the nuts or whatever. That's back to Bullet Club philosophy right there. You know what I mean? And I think that could be a little bit of an evolution of what they're doing, and a storyline enhancement of going forward. Now they're going to be a little more just brutal and straightforwardly cheating and hurting you instead of showboating and too sweeting and being like, we're the club, we're awesome, yay. You know what I mean?
And I'm all for it.
I am too. And they can keep their dick jokes for backstage segments like that, because that was amazing.
Yeah, I don't think it really gets over well live, like on, out in the arena. It doesn't seem to connect it well, because I see, Carl Anderson
backstage really does.
Carl Anderson, he's a great talker, and there have been segments, like even like the hashtag beat up John Cena stuff. It didn't really seem like it connected as much with the live audience, but once it caught on a little bit, and they do, it seems that backstage segments get things over more sometimes. I don't really understand that.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what? Give me an example, because I can't think of any that really have.
Well, the I'm trying. What was the? I know right when they came in, and they were with AJ, but it was before they were together officially. Before AJ turned heel.
Yeah, I know.
I recall they were doing some sort of.
I don't know, man. I don't. If it's thing. That hard to remember, for me, it's always been the stuff that's in the ring happening that generally gets over. I don't know if anything backstage really has, because like Finn Balor's thing tonight was great, and it got cheers, but like it wasn't just, oh my god, like everybody out in the ring or out in the audience were just losing their minds over it. You know what I mean? they came there to see stuff in ring, I think, and like they see a backstage segment and they just turn to the next person and want to talk about it, but they don't cheer or don't. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like,
I like the past month. I want to say I just feel like when Carl Anderson is on and Luke Gallows were both on the mic out in the arena, it just doesn't. I
doesn't
don't
work
feel
as
like
well.
they get to the audience.
Part of it is I think that the club was just portrayed as AJ Styles' lackeys, and they just got beat up by John Cena all the time. They weren't beating up John Cena; they were getting beat up by John Cena. So, like, I don't think they ever had the momentum to really pop a crowd to begin with. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think what they're doing now is definitely the way to go with them. That's kind of my point.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Like, I think that might actually be true. That's why I didn't really connect that much, because they seemed like AJ's lackeys, and they were always getting beat up.
Sure. So do you think they're going to beat New Day at SummerSlam?
I do.
I think so too. SummerSlam generally is where the heels kind of go over, and WrestleMania is where the faces go over. I think it's probably time for them to embark on a new tag team era, and I think the club's definitely the way to go. What I would love to see is the night after SummerSlam, Finn Balor is WWE Universal Champion. The club is WWE Tag Team Champions. And, oh, hey, starting the show, the club's together, and they're trying to talk Finn Balor into, remember Japan, Finn? That kind of thing. That'd be fun. But
well, what I said in the 5-point preview Raw Talk gimmick that I do, I said that it's time for New Day to just lose. You know, their year-long reign is coming to an end, and it was fun. And they need to step away from the tag titles for a little while. I think it's just
come too easy to them for a while. You know what I mean? They haven't had any adversity. I think what they need right now is they need the club to beat them for them to really kind of gain their momentum back. And it's not like they ever lost it. It's not like they've done anything bad. It's just when you're on top for so long, the excitement kind of goes away, and people start turning towards other stories that invest themselves in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
they just need to shake it up a little bit because it's entertainment, and you got to shake it up every now and then. You know what I mean? I think they probably. I think the club probably beats them.
I think also that Big E will not be there at SummerSlam either.
If he is, he's not competing. He'll be like in a wheelchair.
Yeah, crap.
That'd be great. Wheelchair Big E. And they throw like Xavier Woods at him.
Yeah, because it seems like that's what they're setting up now, is that Big E is the glue that holds them together, and because they're the two smaller guys versus the two big guys in Gallows and Anderson.
That's what they're saying.
And Xavier rarely wrestles in tag matches when the title's on the line. Mm-hmm. So now it looks like Xavier is going to have to wrestle with the tag titles on the line.
Well, here's the funny thing too, is they like over the past month or so, they've made Xavier Woods seem like a very good wrestler. Like he's won matches and stuff, where in the past when they were heels or whatever, he was the guy taking the fall all the time. So they've at least legitimized him enough to where this match is not just it's not just obvious that Xavier Woods is taking the pin. You know what I mean?
But I can kind of see the writing on the wall here.
I think so too, but it's also not just a slam dunk like it would have been 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
it's kind of a slam dunk to me, but
I don't think it is.
Maybe
I could definitely see New Day winning. I just don't think they will.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah, well, I think if they do win, that's the last pay-per-view before they lose. But their time is coming to a close for sure.
What's stopping them? What's stopping them from winning at the next pay-per-view if they don't lose at SummerSlam?
Because of the story that they're telling, is that if the club loses here, they're just going to get more violent and more aggressive. And then next, like, how long can they hold off the club if they're going to resort to these tactics? That's the story that's being told. You know what I mean? I say you know what I mean a lot. That was a moment of self-realization. Anyway,
number of things you say.
I know. I say a bunch of things that are What?
I keep it to myself. I don't say it out loud.
Well, thank you. I think the story is clearly the club is going to eventually usurp them. It's just when. It's a matter of time of when.
Hopefully 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and you know what could happen is they could end up having Big E make the save at SummerSlam, and they barely got by the skin of their teeth, and then next night they go. The club goes to NXT mode. They go to Mick Foley and are like, "Dude, that's not fair. It's 3-on-2."
You've been promoted here, sir. You're not doing.
I know. I'm not doing NXT.
Crappy NXT.
Shut up! I love NXT.
No, it's good. It just
amazing. The revival team.
I need to get my obligatory fuck Full Sail in.
Oh, shut up. They're fine. You Smarks and your stupid hatred of Full Sail. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Isn't it Full Sail that are the Smarks?
I'm saying you put NXT in front of any audience of Smarks, same thing happens. So shut your fucking face.
But they don't put themselves over like Full Sail does. If you keep,
they would if given the opportunity.
You have to rotate the crowds.
I know.
If you're going out there and you're going to go into different places, you don't stay in one place.
I know.
Traveling.
All I'm saying is that if you put NXT in front of if you put them in New York, for example, and they are in New York for half a year, guess what's going to happen? Full Sail 2.0, same thing. It's inevitable. So Smarks are hating Full Sail when they need to hate themselves for being stupid. That's my point.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're an asshole.
I'm not an asshole. I'm real. I'm as real as they come. Anyway.
By the way, before we move on, I just want to get one quick thing, and I looked on our Twitter just to see what was going on.
Okay.
By the way, I completely forgot that Ambrose was going to be on the Stone Cold podcast.
We'll watch it later.
I don't really care about it, but what I love about wrestling fandom, and we just talked about this last week too with the Eva Marie nonsense. It's just so weird where I got one tweet here that says this Stone Cold podcast is, and a fire emoji. So they're really loving it. Literally right under that, Ambrose and Stone Cold do not click. They're on different planets from each other. Like, what?
Yes.
This is the fandom. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just totally divisive. Totally divisive all the time. Anyway, I don't know if there was anything else I really wanted to say. This was what I was getting at was I was talking about Big E potentially making a save at SummerSlam so that they skate by one more pay-per-view.
You want to know what I really
Will you
thought?
Stop interrupting me?
Excuse me. Look who's talking. Pot kettle. Okay. Pot meat kettle. I'm going to interrupt you now because I actually had a really awesome idea, like right towards the end of that match. I was like, holy shit. Big E could turn on them and join the club.
It's probably not going to happen. I would put that odds of that happening at like 2%. But
I know.
Yeah,
but
it could happen.
I have dreams.
I mean, you get hit in the nuts enough times, you'd probably want to turn on it, right?
Big E could be the guy that carries Finn Balor out every week.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love it. Let's do that. I'm game. Anyway, that was what I was getting at, was the fact that if New Day were to win, the club says that's not fair. It's 3-on-2. Mick Foley says, "Well, find yourself a third." Who would they go get? Who? Oh God, we're done. Anyway, the only other thing I really thought we wanted to talk about was the wedding, the wedding party, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought Roman Reigns was brilliant tonight. What did you think?
I thought he did a really good job of actually coming off as himself.
He totally did. That was the first time I've watched him do a kind of jokey segment where it felt natural. You know what I mean?
I saw some people on Twitter complaining that it was kind of John Cena-esque.
Well, yeah, but it was also Rock-esque and Steve Austin-esque and Hulk Hogan-esque. It's just what faces in WWE do. It's just how it works. Sami Zayn's done things similar to that. Would they criticize Sami Zayn for doing things like that? He said he was joking around with Chris Jericho in a very John Cena-esque way a couple of weeks back. I mean, where's the line? I don't know. I feel like people see things and they don't like it exactly how they would have liked it, so then they complain. And it's just, well, it's not going to be your show. It's going to be a show for as many people they can please at one time as possible. And you gotta roll with the punches at some point. I liked the fact. What?
I'm sorry. We're up to tweet number 6969 on our Twitter, but
you're so mature.
I think I have ADHD tonight. I don't know.
Yes, you do, because you keep. God damn it! This is gonna be like an hour and a half long. People already sat through a 3-hour television show.
What the hell? We could go 5 hours.
Who? Roman Reigns, I liked him because he was just chill, which is just kind of how he comes off. You know what I mean? He comes off as a guy who's just, I'll sit in the back. Y'all do your thing. That's just kind of who he is to me.
He comes off as a pot smoker. I mean, come on, just
no, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he does not.
Yes, he does. He absolutely does.
How? How do you know what a pot smoker?
I live in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, I've a lot of friends who are pot smokers.
I do too, and they don't act like Roman Reigns. None of them look like Roman Reigns. That's another thing. But
well, that's true.
He comes off as very confident and quietly
and high. He does. I'm sorry. He comes off as high or maybe tipsy.
Says the guy who's never been high.
Contact high. I've had a contact high.
You've had a contact high. You've okay. Why are we still here? This is stupid. What did you think of that segment?
Well, I mean, Rusev did a great job being the bastard that he is, that we love him for being. Lana was gorgeous. She is a gorgeous woman. I mean, that's. I don't even think I have to say that. She just is, and everyone knows that.
Yep.
And then Roman came in, and I was worried at first. Like, oh, Roman's going to come interrupt us, isn't he? And then I was like, yikes. Of course
he was going to
talk, isn't he?
Of course.
And he did, and I was worried at first, but I think that he came off as, like you said, as confident, as just telling it like it is, being a little jokey, but not too, insane. Oh, let me pull up the John Cena Photoshop gimmick level.
Yeah, he had a bit of an Ambrose vibe tonight, in a way, where
that's
like
right.
He went and poured himself a glass of champagne, and Rusev's complaining, and then Roman goes, you don't mind," and then pours himself 2 more.
There we go. Yeah, it was kind of Ambrose-like.
It was like, you're not gonna throw punches over it, so I'm gonna do it anyway, kind of thing. And then he went and insulted Lana by calling her a mail-order bride. What'd you think of that?
I was like, Rock does it. Everyone marks and jumps out of their seat, but I don't know if Roman should be doing stuff like that.
Well, that's the social justice warriors are always going to have a problem with it. My point of view is
no, but you know what? It's not, and you know me, I'm not a social justice warrior, but I didn't like feel good to me to hear him say that.
It didn't feel great, but it made sense to me because he's a guy trying to get a championship match, and he's like, well, fine, I'll go way below the belt in order to get that. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily meaning it. He's just saying.
And he didn't succeed anyway.
Yeah. Well, not there at least, but yeah, he got it eventually. But you take your shots, and it's not necessarily misogynistic because he's not implying that he feels that way. He's just cracking jokes and trying to piss Rusev off,
Yeah, I get it.
It doesn't bother me. I know it bothers a lot of people, so I felt like we should at least talk about it. What did you think of the show overall?
Grading it, if I were to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a B minus.
I am kind of in that zone, C plus, B minus. It's definitely still above average from where Raw was before the new era, but this was easily the worst show of the three so far. But I kind of expected it to be. It was saved by Bullet Club members, Prince Devitt, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows. Those are the three that kind of carried the show. Seth Rollins was great too. KO Jericho was great. Enzo and Cass was not, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, you know,
Trying too hard.
yeah, it was a little bit much this week. I'm concerned about that actually. I didn't really bring it up at all or tweet it. But it. First of all, hashtag Jericho, everybody, because that needs to happen, and I'm so happy that that's happening finally.
I don't want it to be permanent.
Oh, they could. Oh, I want it to be permanent for a little while.
No. I want Kevin Owens to get out of this feud. Say, there you go, Jericho. Call me if you need me, and then just crush somebody.
No, I want Jericho merch. I want them to have the tag titles at some point. I would really love to hear the theme songs mashed up. Because every time Jericho is in a tag team with somebody, their themes get mashed up.
Oh no.
I think it would sound good.
Probably would.
I'm just saying. But when it comes to who we're actually talking about here, I worry that not really in the near future, but I'd say like at the 6-month mark, Enzo might not have that much to say anymore.
I don't think that's ever going to be a problem with him because he's always been just a chatterbox. I think his problem is that he only had to come up with one or two things every monthly paper or monthly taping for NXT, and now he's having to jump on, and they're leaning on him to have those lines every single week. They need to not overdo it with them. It needs to be once or twice a month where
and
it
I have
just
to
goes
say,
off.
This week sounded a little more scripted actually than he has in past weeks. It kind of sounded like he was memorizing what he was going to say, and he was saying it in kind of like I'm reading off a teleprompter way.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, but it definitely felt a little less comfortable or less flowing, if that makes any sense.
There was also, again, I'm not social justice warrior, but there was a little bit of the misogyny and homophobic type of stuff going on.
I don't know if it's even homophobic or misogynistic.
I mean, they're not. It's not that they weren't hating on anybody. But
no, but it's. I guess the implication that like they would make those jokes is in some way homophobic or misogynistic. But like the joke that he made was Bert and Ernie in the bathtub scratching each other's backs in response to Jericho and Kevin Owens, and I have no problem with that. That doesn't bother me at all. Like it's just funny because like that would just be weird for two best friends to do,
Well, it didn't bother me. I don't like. I hate hearing people getting bothered by these things. It's just,
yeah.
And that's exactly the type of thing that they'll look at and go, misogynistic, homophobic.
Yeah, well, a lot of people just want to be offended, so fuck those people straight off. The stuff with Sasha Banks too, like that doesn't bother me because guess what? As far as we know, Enzo Amore is a straight white man who likes women. Like, okay, like here's the problem: is with you implying that's misogynistic, you're implying that Sasha Banks can't just say, shut the fuck up, Enzo. You know what I mean? You're taking the power she has away. You're implying that she has no power in this situation, so you have to call it out. But like the way I've read the last 2 weeks is Sasha was just like, this is funny, I'll go with it. And then she can shut him off anytime. Like she didn't have to put up with it. She's just allowing it to happen. I don't know. It has to be more severe for me to get any kind of red flags going. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the Sasha stuff was good too. I didn't have any problems with it. It's just people just get too angry about things that they don't need to be angry about.
They just want to be offended.
And right.
Yep. And like, there's also another tangent of fans who want, like, are just saying the main event of SummerSlam is Charlotte and Sasha Banks, and I will refuse to change my mind because that's how it's supposed to be. Have the last 2 weeks seemed like that should be the main event of SummerSlam to you?
There are fans saying that?
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah. There are people who just love women's wrestling and they want it to be in the front of the card. And I get it. I understand it. I respect it. But if you cannot objectively look at it and say they're not getting the reaction or they're not getting the quality of segments that they need to be main eventing these past few weeks, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
And this week's women's segment was not that good.
It was not good. It was not good. And last week's was not good. My thing is, I think also you're just not going to get the first main event for women on SummerSlam or WrestleMania. Those are not going to be where it happens. It's going to be Battleground or TLC, one of those, right? I think the first time we're going to have a chance of having a women's main event is going to be Bayley versus Sasha Banks whenever that happens.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the first chance. Until then, just, let's be objective and let's talk and be friendly. Let's not push it to the forefront when it doesn't deserve to be there yet. I don't know. I feel like the show was good, not great. I think you're probably in the same boat.
Yep.
We've talked long enough. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we signed off for the night? It's past 12 for you, Jesus. God damn it. You're the worst. Why is that so loud? Did you just glorious bomb me? Is that what that was?
Hashtag glorious bomb.
Oh my god.
Let's just listen to this for a little while.
No, let's not. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at www.thesmarkcity. If you want to check out the website, we're at thesmarkcity on Twitter. Why is that still playing, Drew? Facebook.com/thesmarkcity. Drew, I hate you. For the love of God. Okay, I'm signing off. This is stupid. Bye.